My sister pushed my daughter down the steps. It was just a game, and I got rid of my parents. Everything in Clara's suburban life erupted in chaos that day. It was supposed to be just another play date. A sunny afternoon filled with laughter, bright drawings scattered across the kitchen table, and the sweet scent of cookies warming in the oven. But suddenly, screams filled the air like thunder. Clara's world had always revolved around Lily. Her 5-year-old daughter was a whirlwind of energy, with golden curls bouncing as she darted from one adventure to the next. But today, that light was dimmed when Vanessa re-entered Clara's life, her estranged sister with a penchant for dramatic mischief. Clara had tried to forget the pain Vanessa caused, but deep down she had braced herself for a storm. And then it happened. In a flash, Vanessa declared, "Let's play!" before giving Lily a playful shove. Only it wasn't playful. Lily stumbled. Vanessa insisted, her laughter ringing hollow as Clara rushed to her daughter, gripping Lily's small hand, searching for reassurance in her wide, terrified eyes. Clara's heart raced, pounding like the bass of an unsettling melody. Adrenaline surged as she pulled Lily close, scanning for injuries, feeling the warmth of her child contrast with the chilling panic enveloping them. With a single look at Vanessa, Clara felt the air crackle with accusations. Previously unspoken, but now hanging like a dark cloud. The guilt of distancing herself from her sister gnawed at her insides, a constant battle between loyalty to family and instinct to protect her child. Clara had known this day would come, yet it still knocked the wind out of her. Clara's parents arrived shortly after, their faces set in a mixture of disapproval and worry. They began their gentle interrogation. "You can't just cast her out, Clara," her mother said, voice steady, but eyes betraying concern. Clara felt a shiver. Rue. Memories, shadows of their childhood flickered through her thoughts. Why had Vanessa always been this way? Suddenly, a message popped up on her phone, a notification that sent every hair on her body standing on end. It was from an unknown number. "You don't know the half of it, Clara. There's more about Vanessa." Every part of Clara wanted to shield her daughter, but the message stirred long-buried secrets, hints of a past she thought buried forever. As her fingers hovered over the screen, she was left with a terrifying thought. What if confronting the past was the only way to protect her daughter from the unraveling truth? Hey! Before you continue with this incredible story, I have an important warning for you. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube has removed their subscriptions without warning. Take a quick look at the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any exclusive content coming up. And while you're at, your participation makes a difference. Let's interact. Clara felt the weight of the world on her shoulders as she stared at her phone. The unknown message pulsed in her hands, its implications both clear and terrifying. Who was sending this? What did they know? Panic gnawed at her insides, and her heart raced. as she strained to listen to her sister's laughter echoing in the background, a jarring contrast to the dread that consumed her. She couldn't focus on the conversations swirling around her. Her mother's calm panic flickered in Lily's wide eyes, and in that moment Clara wished she could erase Vanessa completely, pull her sister from their lives like drawing a curtain shut. But then, a crash exploded like a bomb in the living room. Clara's heart dropped as her parents rushed to the source of the sound. Clara's pulse quickened, adrenaline surged. She followed closely behind, her breath quickening, dread knotting in her stomach. The living room lay in disarray. A shelf had toppled. Scattered picture frames and toys all over the plush carpet. Clara's eyes darted around. Her breath caught when she noticed something, a glimmering object halfway hidden under the sofa. "Don't touch anything!" her father shouted, kneeling down to inspect the wreckage. But Clara couldn't help herself. Her feet moved before her mind could catch up. She reached for the object. Cold metal felt foreign in her hands as she pulled it free. And then she froze. It was a small, ornate key. The design was intricate, etched with an emblem that sent her heart hammering in her chest. "What is it?" her mother asked, but Clara couldn't answer. Memories flooded her mind. A hidden door in the back of their childhood home. An attic of shadows and whispers. "Clara!" Vanessa called from the kitchen, her tone now uncharacteristically harsh. "What do you have there?" Clara turned to Vanessa, her hands trembling with the key. "Do you know what this is? What it opens?" For the first time, Vanessa's playful demeanor slipped. Her eyes widened, fear creeping across her face like a dark shadow. "Put that down! You don't want to mess with things you don't understand." That was it. Panic morphed into rage within Clara's chest. "What are you hiding from me?" Then something shifted, like a sudden gust of wind interrupting a still evening. The doors swung open, and an unfamiliar woman stepped in. She was tall. Oh, yes, for the first time. Vanessa's playful demeanor slipped. Her eyes widened, fear creeping across her face like a dark shadow. "Put that down! You don't want to mess with things you don't understand." That was it. Panic morphed into rage within Clara's chest. "What are you hiding from me?" Then something shifted, like a sudden gust of wind interrupting a still evening. The doors swung open, and an unfamiliar woman stepped in. She was tall, fear creeping across her face like a dark shadow. But with sharp features, and Clara's confusion gave way to shock. Who was she? The room held its breath. Everyone stared, suspended in the moment. Her parents, Vanessa, even little Lily, wide-eyed and untouched by the gravity of the chaos. The newcomer stepped forward, her expression unyielding. "I'm here to reveal the truth about your family, and it's much darker than you think." Clara's pulse pounded as doubt and fear unraveled within her. What could this stranger possibly know? And just like that, she realized that the life she thought she understood was about to crumble beneath her. "Who are you?" Clara demanded, gripping the key so tightly that it bit into her palm. The woman smiled, but it was cold and calculating. Let's just say I have something that can change everything. And in that moment, Clara felt the ground shift under her feet, a chasm of uncertainty yawning wide. What secrets lay hidden, waiting to be uncovered? Would she ever feel safe again? Clara stood frozen, tension crackling in the air like static before a storm. The strange woman's gaze bore into her, an unsettling calm in the chaos unraveling around them. The key dangled in Clara's grasp, its weight suddenly monumental. "What do you mean, the truth about Vanessa?" she demanded, heart hammering with equal parts fear and fury. The woman stepped closer, the shadows playing tricks with her features. "You've been blind, Clara. Vanessa isn't who you think she is." Clara's breath hitched. "No, this wasn't possible." She shot a glance at Vanessa, who now looked trapped, an animal backed into a corner. "Stop it!" Vanessa exclaimed, her voice cracking. "You don't know what you're talking about." But the woman didn't flinch. "I know enough. I've watched your family for years." She turned her piercing gaze to Clara. "You seek to protect your daughter, but there are deeper dangers lurking." "Who are you?" Clara whispered. But the woman's answer was drowned out by a sudden crash outside. The front door swung open, and in burst a tall figure, drenched in rain and shadows. Clara squinted, the figure's face obscured. "Get away from her!" he shouted, lunging forward. It was then that Clara's heart dropped as the figure stepped into the light. "Mark!" her father yelled, shock slicing through the air. Clara's whole world spun as she registered the familiarity of the man before her. Mark had been more than a childhood friend. He had been a family member. Disappearances and secrets threading through their shared past. And yet, Clara hadn't seen him in years. "What are you doing here?" Clara's voice was barely a whisper, disbelief coursing through her. "I'm sorry," Mark said, his voice hoarse, "but I'm here to expose the truth about Vanessa." "About all of you!" The weight of his statement hung in the air, thicker and heavier than the storms rolling outside. Clara's eyes darted between Mark and Vanessa, a whirlwind of confusion and dread twisting inside her. "Mark, you need to leave," Vanessa warned, panic lacing her tone. "You don't know what you're messing with." But the plea fell flat, swallowed by the storm brewing around them. "I do know," Mark insisted, voice rising. "I know what she did, what she's still capable of." His gaze settled fiercely on Clara, and for a moment the world narrowed to just the two of them. "You have to trust me." Clara felt a lump in her throat. She wanted to believe him, to grasp onto that fleeting glimmer of hope. What did she do? The question echoed in the silence, heavy with unanswered questions. Just then, a loud ringing shattered the quiet, Clara's phone lighting up in her pocket. Without thinking, she pulled it out, eyes widening at the number on the screen. The same unknown number. Ignoring the chaos around her, she answered, her voice trembling. "Hello?" The voice on the other end was distorted, as if shrouded in secrecy. "Clara," it said, calm and chilling, "you have no idea what's really at stake. The key you hold, it's a gateway, but you're not ready for what lies behind that door." Clara's heart plummeted as reality twisted around her. Everything she thought she understood threatened to collapse. The stranger, the key, Mark's frantic warnings, they all connected in a dark web of danger she hadn't seen until now. "Clara," Mark urged, stepping forward. "You need to choose now. You can stand by your sister or unearth the truth that could shatter everything." She felt the heat of betrayal and fear rising in her chest. What did she truly know about Vanessa? Or even herself? As the weight of uncertainty hung heavy in the air, Clara realized something profound. Safety was an illusion, and every choice from this moment forward would transform her life in ways she couldn't yet fathom. Would she dare to unlock the truth, or shield her daughter at all costs? The decision loomed long. "What lies behind that door?" she whispered, almost pleading. The shadows deepened, pressing in as if the house itself held its breath, waiting for her next move. "Clara!" Mark shouted, pulling her back to the chaos swirling around them. "Forget the phone! We need to focus! Vanessa is a danger to us all!" His urgency sliced through her shock, yet the weight of the call lingered unshakably. The woman stepped closer, her steely gaze fixed on Clara. "You have to let go of the past. Your sister has secrets that run deep. You need to understand before it's too late." "Secrets?" Clara scoffed, still clutching the key. "She's my sister. What could she possibly hide?" But the tension in the air responded as if mocking her denial. Vanessa, cornered and trembling, glanced at Mark, eyes wide with fear. "You shouldn't have come back," she hissed. "You don't know what you're doing." "Enough!" Mark roared, stepping between Clara and Vanessa. "You will listen to me. It's not just about your shattered family. It's about keeping your daughter safe." Panic surged through Clara. "Safe from what?" "Clara, please." Mark's voice softened, pleading. "You think you know everything, but there's a darkness connected to that key, connected to Vanessa." His face was flushed, stress lines carving deep into his skin. "I can't explain everything now, but I need you to trust me." Before Clara could reply, the strange woman interrupted, her patience thinning. "Clara, if you open that door, it won't just be secrets, it will be chaos." At that moment, Emil, Clara's family friend and a local mechanic, burst into the room like a force of nature. "Clara! Mark!" His breath came in gasps, eyes wild. "You need to get out of here!" "What? Why?" Clara felt the ground shift beneath her feet. There was something in Emil's expression that sent a chill racing up her spine. "It's Vanessa. She's not who she says she is. We've seen things." Panic crackled in his voice, urgency driving every word. "There are people looking for her. People with ties to the past." Suddenly, the air thickened and the walls felt closer, as if the house was a living entity aware of their fear. "People?" Clara felt lightheaded, clinging to the key to ground herself. "What do you mean?" "Something happened years ago," Emil continued, fear etching his features. "Something terrible that you didn't know about, Clara. Vanessa is at the center of it, and it keeps spiraling." As Clara processed his words, a shadow loomed behind Emil. The door creaked open wider, and another figure stepped in. This one eerily familiar. Vanessa! The voice cut through the tension like a knife. It was their long-lost cousin, Jessica, who had vanished without a trace years ago. "Jessica!" Clara gasped, disbelief flooding her veins. "How are you here?" Jessica's expression was a mix of defiance and desperation. "I had to come back to warn you all. It's about the key. It opens a door to more than just secrets. It leads to something dangerous." "What do you mean?" Clara's mind swayed between disbelief and an unsettling realization. Could everything she knew be wrong? "Trust no one," Jessica cried, desperation clawing at her voice. "You think you know Vanessa? What if I told you she isn't who she claims to be? What if I told you she's not even your sister?" Time stopped. Clara's heart raced, and the world around her spun in disarray. The weight of the truth burrowed deep into her chest, each heartbeat echoing Jessica's explosive revelation. In that moment, the room shattered into pieces. Mark, Vanessa, Emile, they all looked at Clara, the air thick with uncertainty and fear. The question hung in the silence, seeping into the cracks of their turbulent lives. Who was Vanessa really? And what other truths lay hidden? Ready to be unearthed? Clara's heart raced, caught in the storm of revelation swirling around her. Vanessa isn't who you think. Clara's breath hitched as recognition washed over her. It was her childhood friend, Jess, who had moved away long ago. But this wasn't the sweet girl Clara remembered. There was something dark behind her eyes. "Clara, you need to listen," Jess shouted, staggering forward. "Vanessa has been playing everyone. She's not just your sister, she's—" Just then, the tension snapped like a taut string. Vanessa's expression shifted from fear to something colder, more calculating. "Enough, Jess. You shouldn't have come back." Clara felt a chill creep up her spine. It was clear that the stakes had risen dramatically. Jess stepped close, breaths heavy with urgency. "People have gone missing because of her. You have no idea what she's involved in." "Missing?" The word hung heavily in the air, igniting a firestorm of panic in Clara's chest. "What do you mean?" "Clara, listen!" Jess's voice was desperate. When Vanessa left, it wasn't just some family drama. It was more sinister. "I have proof!" Clara's eyes darted to Vanessa, who now stood with her arms crossed, lips pressed into a thin line. "There's no proof, just lies," she hissed, attempting to regain control. But Jess pushed forward, glancing wildly at the tumultuous room. "You think you know her, Clara? The playdates, the smiles. What if I told you she was connected to something dangerous and had plans for you?" The weight of the revelation crashed down. Clara felt herself swaying. "What plans? What are you talking about?" A flicker of uncertainty crossed Vanessa's face, and for the first time, Clara saw vulnerability beneath the surface. "It's bigger than you think," Jess continued. "There are people tracking her for what she did, and now they're coming for you." Suddenly, a loud banging echoed from the back door, followed by shouts. The voices were low and menacing, sending icy tendrils of fear snaking through Clara. "Jessica, get inside!" Mark shouted as he stepped toward the door. "We need to barricade! Hurry!" But Jess was still staring at Vanessa. "You," she began, voice trembling. "You have no idea how far this goes. They'll do anything to keep the secret." "You're in danger, Clara. Stop!" Vanessa cried out, her voice rising with panic. "You're lying!" The frantic noises outside intensified, pounding against the walls. In that moment, everything shifted. A sudden crash from the rear yard sent Clara's heart racing. Something bad was happening out there. The door swung open violently, revealing a figure cloaked in shadows. Clara squinted, the outline only revealing a familiar face. A face she'd wished she could forget. It was their estranged uncle, dense with history and tangled connections. "Clara," he roared, voice booming over the chaos. "You need to come with me now." "What?" Clara breathed, feeling lost. "Why?" "You don't understand," he said, urgency distorting his features. "Everything you've believed about Vanessa, about your family, it's all a lie. There's a world you don't see, and Vanessa is at the center of it." The room spun as Clara's grip on the key tightened. Just when she thought she had clarity, everything broke apart again, unraveling in a snarl of questions. "Clara!" Mark pleaded, pulling her back. "You can't trust him. Stay with us." But in that moment, everything Clara defined herself by splintered. Who was her sister? What truths lay beneath the surface? As Clara stared into her uncle's fierce gaze, she felt the lines between friend and foe blur and fold into a darkness she had yet to understand. "What do you know?" she demanded, her voice shaking. "What are you hiding from me?" And as the storm of voices grew louder, engulfing all reason, Clara faced a terrifying truth. Was anyone who they seemed? As shadows closed in, she realized the most dangerous secrets might be the ones hidden within herself. Where would her next step lead her? Clara stood there, the chaos swirling around her, a tempest of noise and confusion. Her heart raced as she locked eyes with her uncle. Every instinct screamed at her to trust Mark, to listen to Jess, to protect Lily above all else. But the words hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. "Vanessa isn't even your sister!" "Clara!" Mark's voice cut through her thoughts. "This isn't the time. We need to get out!" "Stop!" Clara shouted back, panic spilling out. "What is happening? Why is everyone acting like this?" But the moment stretched, thick as molasses, and just when she thought it couldn't get worse, the front door burst open again, slamming against the wall with a deafening crack. Clara's eyes widened as a figure stepped inside, this one cloaked in darkness, face obscured. A chilling tension draped over the room. "Run! Jessica screamed, eyes wide with terror, but the figure raised a hand, a flash of silver catching Clara's eye. "There's no need to run." The voice was sinister, smooth like ice, sending shivers down Clara's spine. The room tensed, breaths shallow, heartbeats echoing in collective silence. Everyone's gaze fixed on the figure, frozen in disbelief. "Who are you?" Clara stammered, feeling the weight of fear curdle in her stomach. "I'm here for something," the figure announced. Stepping into the light, Clara gasped as the face revealed itself. It was an older version of Vanessa. Same golden curls, same sharp eyes, but filled with an unsettling coldness. Her older self smirked, and the room seemed to tilt. "What? This can't be real!" Clara felt the ground shift beneath her as confusion gripped her. "What are you doing here?" "I'm here to take what belongs to me," older Vanessa said, lifting her chin defiantly. "And you have no idea what I've sacrificed." Sacrificed? Clara could barely voice the thought as shock splintered her reality. "Who are you?" The echoes of her own scream filled the space, weaving through the chaos. "You think you're the only one in danger?" Older Vanessa took a step forward, eyes narrowing in on her younger self. "We are all connected, Clara. Decisions from the past ripple through time." An icy silence followed, then the room was engulfed in sounds. Shouts, gasps, the pounding of hearts in panic. Clara felt her breath hitch. Everything she thought she knew shattered like fragile glass thrown against a wall. Suddenly, Jake, the family's elderly neighbor and the one who shared the stories of their childhood, staggered through the door, his face ashen. "It's true," he breathed, voice trembling. "She's real. I saw the changes. They were watching." "What are you talking about?" Clara grasped for understanding, each revelation pulling her deeper into confusion. "Vanessa's past is darker than you realize," Jake rasped. "The others, they came before, but they vanished. She's hiding something vital, something you can only find if you unlock the door." "Door?" Mark shouted, desperation clawing at him. "We need to get away from her!" Me?" Older Vanessa laughed, but it was sharp, harsh, like shards of glass. "You don't get it. I'm the only one who can see the truth, and I've come back to collect. Choose wisely, Clara." "Choose?" Clara felt the overwhelming weight resting on her shoulders. "What do I have to choose?" The room spiraled with tension, uncertainty wrapping its cold fingers around her heart. Suddenly, the lights flickered and pulsated, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Then, the ground trembled as if the house was alive, shaking around them, and Clara's head spun. "Clara!" Mark gripped her arm, voice urgent. "You can't let her in. You can't trust her." But it was too late. Everything shattered when the front door burst open one last time, and a booming voice echoed from behind. "You'll regret this, all of you." A light flickered once more before plunging the room into darkness. A single scream pierced through the silence, pulling Clara back to reality. As the lights came back on, she was met with shock. Lily stood there, clutching the ornate key with a knowing grin. "Mommy, I know what to do." And in that moment, Clara's world tilted once more. Questions swirled in her mind. What did Lily know? What did the key truly mean? The tension of uncertainty wrapped around her, demanding answers, leading Clara on the precipice of fear and revelation. What new truth was about to emerge? Clara's eyes widened as she stared at Lily, clutching the ornate key with a confidence that felt far beyond her years. The chaos around her, with voices arguing and uncertainty rippling through the air, sharpened her focus on her daughter. "What do you mean you know what to do?" Clara asked, her heart thumping in her chest. Lily looked up, eyes bright and clear, as if she could see something important that the adults couldn't. "I've seen it, Mommy. The door! It shows things. Bad things. But there's hope, too. We have to open it." Clara's grip tightened around her own key, the cold metal biting into her palm like a warning. Mark's frantic voice broke through her thoughts again. "Clara, stop! Don't listen to her! This isn't a game!" But just then, the lights flickered again, dimming to a murky glow. Shadows encroached around them, thickening the tension as the front door swung shut with a resonating bang. The sudden noise sent chills down Clara's spine. In that moment, everything felt wrong. "Mommy!" Lily cried, her small hands reaching out, but before Clara could react, the air sparked. The ground shook, rattling the walls. A piercing wail filled the room, different from any sound they'd heard before. It echoed and reverberated, wrapping around them like an unbearable shroud. Clara's breath caught in her throat. Then, in an instant, the wailing surged, morphing into a deafening roar. Clara clutched Lily, her heart racing, eyes darting around to everyone in the room. She caught a glint of fear in Vanessa's eyes. And then it happened. The floor split open beneath them as a blinding light erupted from the ground. The key in Clara's hand felt hot, pulsing with an energy that surged through her veins. The entire house trembled, walls cracking, the world outside swallowed by light. "No!" older Vanessa screamed, her reflection darkening as shadows gathered around her. "You don't know what you're doing!" But Clara was rooted to the spot, paralyzed by both fear and the overwhelming pull of something deep within her, something that felt ancient and buried. Then, like a switch flipping, she felt a connection deeper than before. "What do you mean? What's in there?" she shouted, desperation threading her voice. In that moment, everything exploded. A shockwave slammed through the room, and Clara's vision blurred. Time seemed to stretch, and then it all collapsed into chaos. The shadows around her morphed, swirling into a vortex of darkness that wrapped around everyone like an arm. She was flung back into a memory, one she hadn't remembered. Images near her childhood home flickered with vibrant intensity. Faces of friends, laughter, glimpses of a sunny day. And then darkness. Black eyes staring back at her, shadows creeping over familiar places. "Clara, wake up!" Mark yelled, desperately pulling her back. But his words were drowned out by the chaotic dance of light. And then she saw it, a vision so suddenly real it knocked the breath from her. Lily wasn't a child at all. In the blink of an eye, the 5-year-old turned into a mirror image of older Vanessa. "We need to stop this, Clara." Her voice had changed, resonating with an authority that shook Clara's core. The world froze. Clara's heart dropped into her stomach, a cold realization washing over her. It wasn't just that Lily could see things. She had been hiding the truth all along. Before Clara could collect her thoughts or shout, a blinding flash pulled her back into reality. Everything changed. Friends, family, past and present. Nothing was what it seemed. "Lily?" Clara gasped. "What's happening?" But Lily stepped back, the shadows swirling around her like a crown, a smirk playing on her lips, eerily echoing the one older Vanessa wore just moments before. "It's time you understood the truth." In that moment, Clara felt the whole world shift. The lines that defined her reality began to blur, and the uncertainty expanded like a gaping chasm before her. As each character's expression morphed from shock to horror, Clara still hung on to one question. Who was Lily really? Clara stared at Lily, confusion churning in her chest. "What are you talking about?" The little girl's transformation felt like a slap, turning Clara's world upside down. Shadows danced around them, reflecting the turmoil inside. Lily took a deep breath, her voice steady. "I've been waiting for this moment, Mommy. It's time for the truth." Clara's heart raced. It felt like the ground was shifting beneath her feet, threatening to swallow her whole. She struggled to comprehend what her daughter meant. The truth? Before Lily could respond, the front door shattered, splintering into pieces as a man barged in. Clara's eyes widened in disbelief. It was her husband, Paul. But not her Paul. The last time she'd seen him, he'd been missing for years. "Clara, I've found you!" he shouted, voice raw and urgent. "Paul!" Her heart soared, hope spilling over the fear. "You're alive? But how?" He ignored her questions, eyes locked onto Lily. "It's too late. They're here. We have to go. Now!" "What? Who's here?" Clara managed to breathe, confusion and dread twisted in her gut. Lily stepped in front of her father, defiance radiating from her tiny frame. "No, it's not what you think. They need to hear me. What's happening?" Paul's voice trembled, panic threading through. Clara could see the unease in his eyes as he looked at Lily, who had transformed again, becoming an echo of the older Vanessa. "Enough!" Clara shouted, feeling the chaos swell around her. "What do you mean by they?" Before Lily could answer, there was a loud crash from the hallway. A group of shadowy figures rushed in, faces obscured. Clara's heart pounded as the room filled with trepidation. "Find her!" one of the figures yelled, glancing around with wild eyes. "Who are you?" Clara's voice shook, trapped in fear. As if in a trance, one of the figures pointed a finger at Lily. "The girl! That's her! Get away from her!" Paul yelled, pushing Clara behind him. He moved protectively in front of Lily, defiant against the oncoming threat. But Lily didn't flinch. Instead, she stepped forward, her expression shifts to something fierce. "You don't understand. They can't hurt me." "Lily, please!" Clara begged, feeling a chill creep over her. "Enough of this," the lead figure shouted. "You have no idea what you've unleashed." Suddenly, Lily raised the key high above her head. "This is the key to our freedom. You didn't protect us. You left us." Clara felt her breath hitch. Everyone froze, silence engulfing them. That moment felt charged, the air thick with unspoken truths. "What do you mean?" Paul's voice dipped low, fear shadowing his face now. Lily's eyes shifted, a deep sadness flickering in their depths. "I remember everything. You left before it all happened. You weren't here to protect me when I needed you." Paul stepped back, a dawning horror crossing his features. No, I didn't." "Stop!" Clara screamed, feeling her heart shatter. "What's going on? Lily, tell me the truth." In the silence that followed, the shadows around them surged. It felt like growing darkness was pushing in, suffocating them. As light flickered again, the figures reacted, shifting nervously. "Clara, you have to decide," Paul shouted suddenly, desperation trembling through him. "Do you trust her?" The question hung heavily in the air, a breaking point. Clara stared at her daughter. And in that moment, a panic ignited inside her. "Trust her?" she whispered. "After all this?" Suddenly, the shadows moved, disrupting everything. The key in Lily's hand began to glow, a blinding light pulsating, illuminating the room. And then, from deep within, Clara heard a voice, familiar yet strange. "Mommy, I don't want to fight anymore." With those words, the light erupted, consuming them all, taking everything with it. In that blinding moment, Clara felt her heart drop into an abyss of questions. Who was Lily? And what secrets lay hidden in the darkness? As the light enveloped them, she couldn't shake the feeling that what was about to unfold would change everything she thought she knew. The blinding light enveloped them, a raw energy pulsing like a heartbeat, each second stretching into eternity. Clara felt her heart race, pounding against her ribcage, drowning out the chaos around her. She reached for Lily, but the glow seemed to create a barrier separating them. The room swirled into a dizzying mix of light and shadow. Colors twisted and turned. Everything grew distorted. "Mommy, help!" Lily's voice echoed, breaking Clara's heart. The shadows around them twisted, the faces of the threatening figures distorting into grotesque shapes. Clara's breaths were shallow, her chest tight with fear. "Lily, hold on!" She pushed against the force of the light, desperation igniting her every move. But then, like a dam breaking, the light exploded outward. Clara shielded her eyes, and when she looked again, everything had changed. Instead of their home, she stood in a vast, empty void, the weight of silence pressing down like a thick fog. The only thing visible was a single door, ancient and splintered, standing alone against the darkness. "Where are we?" Paul gasped beside her, eyes wide and frantic. Lily stepped closer to the door, her demeanor shifting again. "This is the portal. The key unlocks more than just a door. It connects our worlds, and it's time to make a choice." "Lily, stop." Clara could barely contain her panic. We don't know what this is. But Lily pressed on, eyes glowing with determination. Mommy, please. Before Clara could argue or question, Lily turned and unlocked the door. A resounding click echoed, and the door swung open with a creak that shivered through the air. A rush of wind pulled Clara toward the threshold, whispering secrets from beyond. From the door emerged a shadowy figure, tall, cloaked, the outline dark against the glow. Clara's heart skipped. "Who are you?" she demanded, every instinct telling her to run. But the figure stepped into the light. Revealing familiar features, Clara's breath caught in her throat. It was her mother. "Mom?" Clara gasped, disbelief flooding her. The last time she'd seen her, years ago, she'd vanished without a trace. But now she stood before them, eyes filled with an unearthly knowledge, a knowing smile that chilled Clara to the bone. How are you here? Everything is connected, Clara." Her mother's voice was steady and calm, but it dripped with something unsettling, something Clara couldn't quite place. "We had to protect you." "Protect?" Paul's voice trembled dangerously. "From what?" "From what's coming." Her mother swept an arm, gesturing to the dark void around them. "The family's hidden truths are alive, Clara, and they're more than you can imagine." "What do you mean?" Clara stepped back, confusion flooding her system. What hidden truths? But then, without warning, a wrenching pain shot through Clara's chest. Gasping, she doubled over, feeling as if something was tearing at her very essence. The world spun, and she looked up to see her mother's expression shift drastically. "It's time for the real sacrifice." A dark gleam flashed across her mother's eyes. "If it takes you to destroy those who threaten us, then so be it." Suddenly, Clara realized with sickening clarity that the figure before her wasn't just her mother. It was a wraith, a dark embodiment of all the secrets hidden in their family. Clara's heart plummeted, new fear coursing through her. "Lily, we need to go!" "Now!" Clara cried out, urgency spilling into her voice. But Lily stood frozen, a mixture of fear and awe. "Mommy, she's right. This is what we've been waiting for." "Waiting for what?" Clara demanded, panic igniting in her chest. Then, in a rush of revelation, everything clicked into place. The shadows, the threats, the decades of separation. It wasn't a curse, but a cycle, repeating itself. It dawned on Clara like a cold wave crashing over her. "Mommy," Lily whispered, the innocent facade slipping away. "It's time you take your place." As Clara looked around, she understood that the door was no exit. It was the beginning of a darkness she couldn't outrun. The question now roared through her mind. What had she been chosen for? And what price would she pay to finally uncover the truth? Clara felt the ground shift beneath her feet, a revelation crashing down like a tidal wave. "You're not my mother, are you?" The question left her lips, a desperate whisper tinged with dread. The dark figure smirked, almost amused. "I am what you've always feared, Clara. I embody everything you've hidden from. The darkness your family buried deep away from prying eyes. It's time to embrace it or lose everything. "Mommy!" Lily cried, taking a step back. Confusion etched across her tiny features. "This isn't right!" "No, it's not!" Clara jumped forward, the panic surging through her veins. "Lily, we can't trust her." "I can help you," the shadowy figure insisted, its voice blending with the echoes of the room. "But sacrifices must be made. Open this door, and it will reveal the truth of your family's power." As the swirling chaos enveloped them, Clara felt the weight of the key in her hand. It pulsed, urging her forward. She knew that whatever lay behind that door could destroy them or set them free. "Mommy, please!" Lily's voice trembled. "I can feel it. We have to try." In that moment, Clara made a choice. "No!" she shouted defiantly, shaking her head. "I won't be led by fear." As if her determination summoned a surge of power, the shadows recoiled and the light flickered brightly. The room expanded, and Clara grasped Lily's hand tightly. "We're stronger together! We won't let darkness win!" With that, she lunged forward, shoving the key into the lock. "This is our choice." The door swung open, revealing a blinding light that consumed them whole. The shadows shrieked. But as the door closed behind them, the dark entity vanished with a final, furious scream. Suddenly, Clara found herself back in their living room. The chaos dissolved. The shadows lifted. Paul, Mark, Jess, and Emile stood wide-eyed, mirroring her disbelief. "Mommy?" Lily called gently, her small voice echoing in the now peaceful space. "Did we win?" Clara knelt before her daughter, pulling her into a tight embrace, relief washing over her like warm sunlight. "Yes, my love, yes, we did." As they regrouped, Clara felt uncertainty swirl, but also a glimmer of hope. "What just happened?" Mark breathed, still shaken. "It was a choice, a test," Clara replied, voice strong. "We faced our truths, and we didn't back down." Then she turned to her mother, who stood watching with an expression that betrayed wisdom and sorrow. This time, Clara's heart felt lighter. "You won't control us anymore," she vowed. Her mother's threatening aura dissipated into the air, leaving only her true self behind. The weight they'd carried for so long began to lift. The scars of their past transforming into lessons of strength. "There's so much to uncover," Jess spoke, an understanding hint in her voice. "But we can do it together." "Together!" Lily echoed, a smile blossoming on her innocent face. And as they found solace in each other, Clara realized they were stronger than any secret or shadow. They had faced darkness, and they had triumphed. But as the dust settled, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. What more lay ahead? What new truths waited to be uncovered? As the group clung to each other, Clara took a deep breath, feeling hope return. They would face whatever came next, side by side. But now it was time for you to take action! You must subscribe immediately to this channel. You don't want to miss the next exclusive stories we will uncover. Like this video now to help feed the algorithm and ensure others can dive into this adventure. Flood the comments section with your thoughts and theories about this ending, because your voice matters. And don't wait 1 second longer to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear this incredible conclusion. Show your support. This is the time to get involved.